ersten Nachtschicht. Klar. Und dachte mir, bis zur nächsten Nachtschicht hast Zeit, ein bisschen Divinity zu streamen, ne? Also, geht's los. Ach, und nochmal zur Info. Wer was verpasst hat, ich lade die als Let's Plays natürlich auch auf meinem YouTube-Channel hoch. Der müsste auf meiner Twitch-Seite zu sehen sein. Von daher. Wo wollte ich jetzt eigentlich? Jo, das sieht aber schick aus. Das habe ich gemacht. Ich glaube, ich muss in die schwarze holen, ne? Da ist eine Falltür. Würde ich da mal reingehen? Könnten mal gucken, was es da so gibt, ne? Was haben wir hier denn Schönes?
So still here, like the air itself's been petrified. Der ist ja gar nicht mal so schlecht. Was sagt Fane? Fane sagt, gib mir.
The figure is locked in pose, the victim of a terrible curse.
Bone dust. Even the petrified aren't immune to the ravages of time, it seems.
Langweilig. Wenn die wenigstens was Vernünftiges dabei hätten. Komm, schneller. Ich würde ja behaupten, da die Person einen Namen hat, passiert da was anderes, wenn ich sie... Ne?
Well, isn't this rich? Cursed by a coffin and rescued by a newt. The indignity.
Ach, die ist das, von der der Hund geredet hat, ne?
She huffs in annoyance and rolls her eyes.
Oh, all this trouble, and for nothing. Never figured I'd need frost armor. You want me to spoil the story before you see how it ends? I'd never be so rude.
She purses her lips and coyly tilts her head.
Oh, but do forgive me. I haven't offered you proper thanks.
She bows in insincere reverence. Her arm rests on her back, hand mere inches from her staff. She rises from her bow. The deep blue veins on her face pulse violently.
Oh, honey, I know this isn't the way you wanted it to end, but anathema is still out there, and I'm not keen on competition if you get my drift.
A jolt of cursed fire flares from her staff.
Bring it.
Okay, beschwört halt noch mehr. Was ist los mit euch?
Cornered.
Darf ich jetzt endlich mal irgendwas tun? Danke. halt nicht. Aber was ist los mit dir? Bist du behindert oder so?
Glory is mine.
95%. Trifft zweimal hintereinander nicht. Was ist los mit dir? Leg dich hin. Okay, du hast wieder Rüstung. Hört auf damit. Nein! Nein! Jetzt bin ich aus Versehen auf die Leertaste gekommen. Ich krieg gleich einen Anfall. Aber was ist denn los in dem Kampf? So, jetzt bitte keine behinderten Sachen mehr. Ja, mach mir Schaden. Tu es. Ach ja, ich sollte besser auf die Umgebung achten. Hm. Beschwört halt noch mehr. Macht das halt auch noch. Wäre schön, wenn ihr euch mal beruhigen würdet, damit ich die Penner endlich down kriege. Dankeschön.
Did she say anathema?
Genau das meinte ich. So, dann haben wir das doch schon mal. So. Ich weiß nicht, ob die Falle schon jetzt weg ist, weil sie das ausgelöst hat, aber mach das mal auf. Mach es mal. Ach so, kannst du wahrscheinlich nicht.
Won't budge.
Dann mach du es. Das. Also ich verstehe es nicht. Das ist hauptsächlich eine Rüstung für einen Jäger oder warum Kriegsführung? Beschwörung okay, aber ihr seid doch, werden da random Werte drauf gerollt auf die Sachen? Das macht das teilweise richtig behindert. Was war jetzt eigentlich hier mit? War das was für den Fane? Naja, ich wollte das verzaubern, ne? Also noch eine große Rune. Nice. Also eine größere Rune. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Das war schon mal was Schönes. Jetzt muss ich sie dann nur noch verfeuern. So wollte ich so. Achso, Level Up, ne? Was kriegt ihr denn? Ein Talent kriegen wir mal wieder, nice. Brauche ich... Nee. Das bringt mich auf eine Idee. Das bringt auch nichts, weil die kann alle nicht beschwören hier von meinen Charakteren. Ach, hier ist ja noch einer. So, irgendwo war hier noch was. Achso, das war... Also in irgendeine Katakombe kann ich jetzt noch rein. Fragt sich nur in welche. Wahrscheinlich nicht. Seid ihr...
Bob, look at all these bones.
Okay. Lol. Ja, hier sind immer ein paar Knochen. Aber erstmal Level up. Der Fane hat so wenig Schaden. Hat der hier so viele Boni durch irgendwelche... Ja, okay, durch Ausrüstung plus 5, durch Ausrüstung plus 5. Handy, mit dir rede ich nicht. Durch... Okay, ja gut. Das erklärt vieles. Brauchst du noch Gedächtnisplätze? Hier hast du noch einen. Das könntest du noch mitnehmen, ne? So, was mit dir? Du kannst jetzt auch noch eine Sache mitnehmen. Was willst du denn noch mitnehmen? So, was haben wir bei dir? So, erstmal speichern. Ja.
What's this? I found something.
Still stuck. There must be another one. I've spotted something. Ah, success. It won't budge. How inconvenient. No, the door.
Hm.
Locked.
Ah, I see.
It won't budge. How inconvenient.
Vielleicht sollte ich mir mal die Seite hier durchlesen.
It won't budge. How inconvenient.
Das erklärt, ich hatte die Geistersichtfähigkeit nicht mehr an. Ich habe mich schon die ganze Zeit gewundert.
What did that do? Maybe this one. Hear that? It did something. all this wealth's just been going to waste.
Und ich suche mich dumm und dämlich nach Hebeln. Habe halt keine Geduld. Oh, Halleluja. Nicht zu googeln.
Unlike so many other spirits, this one is hardly silent. She clicks and squawks the moment you approach her, like a cornered crow facing down a hungry owl.
Are you the new servant, then? My, my. You look like my old handbag, but dipped in cherry wine. You brought my tea, have you?
The spirit takes the invisible cup from you and takes a sip of non-existent liquid.
I've tasted better brews, but from the look of you, the refreshments won't be improving.
She waits a moment.
You expecting a tip? Well, here's one. Exfoliate.
You feel the unusual object's vast energy before your hand even touches its smooth surface. Upon contact, the semi-transparent artifact shivers and speaks. You know this language. It is an archaic tongue, spoken only by demons for untold eons.
When as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living. Restore my twin, make me whole. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by marks or chips. It rests snugly in your palm, as if meant to be gripped with a resolute hand. The object repeats its cryptic remarks.
Schade, dass man dafür Finesse braucht. Ich könnte ihn wahrscheinlich verkaufen. Den kann man, glaube ich, nur einmal benutzen.
What the hell?
Oh lol. Ach, das ist nur ein Lehmwächter. Habe ich mich jetzt erschrocken? Nein! Leertaste ist ja nicht bestätigen. Irgendwie bin ich heute komplett durch. Moment, ich habe gespeichert, ne? Ja. Ah, so eine Nachtschicht macht mich doch wuschiger als gedacht. Die Leertaste bestätigen, ey.
unusual object's vast energy.
Ja,
You know.
ja,
When
das
as
hat
one.
ja,
The
ja,
oblong, the
ja,
object.
ja. Hatte ich das mit
You
dir
should
gesagt?
go.
Loot, 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 gut. Komm, Junge. So, jetzt aber, sonst werde ich wuschig.
What the hell? Glory is mine.
Oh shit. Nein. Nein. Ich weiß nicht, ob das... Ah, okay.
Is your name?
Nein, Faye. Ist schon frech. Ach fuck, der ist ja... Alter, ich kann mich null konzentrieren. Ist das zum Kotzen?
More dead.
Das war verrückt. Wow. Nicht mein Lucky Find? Ich glaube, das war das, was ich finden muss für den Riker, ne? Dann kommen wir jetzt mal zurück zum Riker. Und labern wollen die auch noch.
This thing speaks to me. But what is it trying to say?
My tongue! It's speaking the language of the Eternals. I mean, it is gibberish, but such beautifully phrased gibberish.
It has a nice rhythm to it, doesn't it? Kind of like a song. Beautiful language.
Sounds like any other plea for mercy to me. Utter nonsense.
The dog spirit rolls his head around, gawking at the ground and sky as if he'd never seen them before, then locks his eyes on yours.
I am death. Anathema, it will be ours. The masses will tremble. Our enemies will bow before the demon blade. Indeed, the masses tremble at my might. We will retrieve Anathema. Our enemies will bow before the demon blade.
He moves to lick his haunches and seems taken aback by his own translucence.
Once a demon, now a weapon. We heard its call and slayed our allies in its name. It is near. With it, we will slay living and undead alike. There will be no mercy.
The canine spirit lifts his head to howl, but can barely manage a whimper. He tucks his tail between his legs, shocked at his own impotence.
This creature is as blank as a silent monk. Dark magic at work.
At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host, hollow, detached. Yet, in its eyes, you see something more ominous, something not apparent before. Agony. The spirit nods, and its face grows even more tortured. It is trapped. Is this Riker's doing?
The spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
Within the stone garden's walls, peace be thy immortal fortune. relieved of toil, free of indignity, until thou art called to serve. The spirit cannot speak, or perhaps chooses not to. The dusty staircase leads to another hatch, which is blocked tight. As you push, it budges slightly, and some sand drifts onto the floor. Straining and grunting, your strength just about manages to nudge open the hatch.
Was zum... Hä?
Before you stands the ghost of an older woman. Clad in flowing Magister's robes, she peers around the room as if looking for something lost. On seeing you, she brightens and extends an ethereal hand.
Magister Pavlonia, charmed to meet you, I'm sure.
As she reaches for you, her hand passes right through your arm. She shrieks, horror animating her face.
Oh, my hand! My fingers! Well, really, I'm quite aware of that. But I am not fully myself. I keep forgetting things somehow. It's hard to hold all the threads together when you've fallen apart yourself. Wait, the spider! It was the spider! She chewed me. Bits of me. Slowly. I keep looking, but I can't find myself. Yes. I came from the Black Pits to negotiate with Riker here in his house. We needed to ensure that scoundrel wouldn't interfere with our plans there. He must have mixed something into the delightful rose tea he served me. And then... Next I knew, I was rolled up in webbing as his spider sucked the marrow right from my bones and nibbled my limbs off. I hope you didn't drink any tea downstairs. He's a master sorcerer. Everyone knows that. But he's too powerful to take to the joy. And besides, he had some business that coincided with Dallas's interests. Of course, if he were to act up, we could always work on his little vulnerability to fortify. So Dallas ordered him left alone, providing he didn't interfere with Magister business in the Black Pits.
She throws you a haughty glance. In the sharp lines of her face, you see steely determination overtaking the spirit's distracted manner.
None of your... Never mind.
Ja, das ist jetzt vielleicht ein bisschen nicht ganz so gut, aber...
I'm ready.
Okay, wie viele Aktionspunkte hast du? Was ist los mit dir? Übertreib halt komplett. Ich hasse Verzaubern. Aber kriegen wir sie schnell genug down. Wahrscheinlich nicht ganz. Nur noch am Verfehlen. Ey, was ist denn los mit meinen Charakteren? Boxy jetzt los. Dankeschön. Kannst du Weil... Ah. Wer war dran?
Pavlonia gazes searchingly around the floor near her, muttering to herself.
Is that... It is... my hand?
She stretches out her ghostly arm and wriggles ethereal fingers into the slightly chewed and more than a little decomposed hand.
The threads are coming back together now. You, sorcerer, you helped me. I should help you. Stay away from the black pits, far away. They're a black ring there, prisoners. And if my colleagues catch a sniff of your sorcery there, they're liable to treat you just the same.
Waving her ghostly hand at you, Pavlonia disappears beyond visibility to meet her fate.
Gar nicht mal so schlecht. So, was haben wir noch Schönes? Schüchen. Hätte sein können.
You remember drinking ruby wine with Magister Boris in the armory after hours. You remember his deep hazel eyes, how he trembled as he kissed you. You remember all of it, the best night of your life.
Gehen wir mal hier runter, ne? Ja, vielleicht sollten wir speichern.
The hatch is blocked tight by the high drifts of sand carpeting the floor. Straining and grunting, your strength...
ist tatsächlich nur die andere Seite. Interessant.
The dusty staircase leads to another, straining and grunting. A spirit sits behind the grand piano, her hands moving to and fro along the ivory keys.
O'er black and white, my fingers dart, as lost between worlds as I am. O'er globes they glide, o'er flats and sharps. Whither go they, Lord of Life? Direct them.
Her hands fall upon the keys like raindrops on a lake. Music ripples and rises like it did before the dragon's throne, thousands of years ago. The masked creature grunts 3 times at the sight of you. It reaches its arm out. Clasped in its hand is a crumpled parchment. You take the page, and the servant returns to its hollow existence.
Kin, you speak to Cure, hatched from the egg of Zora. It pleases Cure to speak to lizards once more. But why does a dragonkin leave the ancient empire? Why does a dragonkin come to such a dark place?
You stare in shock. It's speaking perfect old tongue. You'd have no idea what it was saying if you weren't well versed in the Empire's ancient texts.
A celestial champion. Cure expects nothing less from a kin. Our old master would be proud. Has the Empire fallen so far? The old master would never have allowed such folly. Cure's old master taught Cure. Consul Zara, esteemed lizard Gonso, was the most prestigious master. Until the elf killed Consul Zara.
The lizard lets out a low, rumbling hiss.
Killed Zara for gold. Then he stole Zara's chest and stole Cure away.
The lizard's tongue flickers, a wry grin spreading across its snout.
The elf would not open it. Its magic was beyond the creature. In a rage, it was thrown into the graveyard's eternal flames, where it burned. And burns still. My master's magic is powerful, and it will never fail. The chest sits safely burning until the eternal flames wither.
The lizard's eyes, cold, search your face for a moment.
Cure has hoped to keep his master's secrets until the end of time. But it is right that a kin of your majesty should know. If you can douse the fire, good prince, sing these words. The chest will open for you like a cracked egg. Honor the memory of Hure's master. She deserves nothing less.
The lizard hisses dismissively.
All apes look alike. They dress in black, but come in all shapes. Tall humans, stunted dwarves, creatures that stink of death. All that is known is they arrived with gold and left with the promise that people will die.
So, als nächstes gehen wir mal runter.
No keyhole, no handle. There must be a hidden mechanism.
Das heißt, sie kann das auch nicht. Wahrscheinlich.
Ugh, no
Ja.
keyhole, no handle. There must be a hidden mechanism.
Hidden mechanism.
The air buzzes with source here.
I trust that our bargain reaches a satisfactory conclusion. Well, see that you find me when it is in hand.
Careful. That's a trap. That's a
I
trap.
see a trap nearby.
Nice. Careful now. That's a trap.
The servant emits a menacing growl.
Flesh and bone, severed and stitched. A rather sordid brand of necromancy. No keyhole, no handle. There must be a hidden mechanism.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
What's this? I found something. This again?
Death prowls above. Ascend only if you seek it.
The servant emits a menacing growl. The spirit does not respond to your...
Look who's come to join the party.
Interessant. Den kann man doch.
Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
So, was hast du schön? Langweilig, 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 langweilig. Obwohl, so schlecht ist das gar nicht. Ist auch irgendwas Nützliches?
I certainly know you. I was captive on the Lady Vengeance before you arrived. I'm most glad that chapter has ended. Malady has been most kind to keep me on board in exchange for my special talents.
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lips stretch into a mischievous smirk.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know where to dig, that is. Indeed. It's not just decomposing flesh and bone dust underfoot, as you know. Why, the very essence of decay flavors many an essential oil and tincture.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
You're a savvy one. I must confess, I'm not just here for random baubles and whatnot. There's something my heart, such as it is set on. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy this story. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous power. Or so the legends say, anyway. Belonged to a family buried near here. The Surreys. I've been reading up on them. An ancient clan of eccentrics and oddballs. Fascinating people, truly. Old Joanna was the last. The poor, poor dear. Had no money, no children, just this incredible heirloom passed down to her through the generations. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin freezes.
Hours spent on scholarship are never hours wasted.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost modest.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. This heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. I've told you everything you need to... everything I know. What it is doesn't matter. What it does, well, if I am right, it will clean up quite an unholy mess. A mess we're both currently mired in.
He looks toward the graveyard.
Let's make this easy. I'll assume you've accepted my mission. You'll assume I give it in good faith. Beautiful. The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it's impressive. I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some old friends. See if they're in good spirits. Ah, my sun-baked friend. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb?
He places his hand on the artifact, and it drones in the demonic tongue. When, as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living, restore my twin, make me whole. The object continues. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
It's true then. Anathema, within reach. Tell me, is this all there was? There weren't any other curios in there? But of course. I consider it my scholarly duty to know what I can of them. Surely you of all people understand the quest for knowledge.
He breathes a long, lugubrious sigh.
It's time I leveled with you. This is the hand grip of the fabled anathema. A sword capable of annihilating anyone. Even a divine. Imagine it. Holding in your hand a force that could wipe away sun and shadow. A sword of life and death, miracle and sin. A sword of atonement. I can restore anathema to working condition, but this is only half of it. We still need the blade. How fortunate that the hilt has already told us where to find it. Blood Moon Island. Well, well, well. You've got spirit to go with those smarts. Blood Moon Island awaits, my friend. It's a bit of a jaunt, but this gives me time to prepare my workspace. We'll catch up on the Lady Vengeance, yes?
Tarquin doesn't wait for an answer. His attentions are already turned elsewhere.
Nee, hier wollte ich ja gar nicht hin. Wir können sicher noch was machen.
That inspiration, we're an example!
Locked in perpetual prayer. Keep trying, my friend.
In death, the
We
dwarves
died
gave eagles
glorious
life.
deaths.
An elegant passing for an inelegant people.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
The eagle glowers at you with one baleful eye, keeping the other eye firmly trained on the stringy morsels of rotting flesh dangling from its beak.
You dare touch Master's gifts. No invitation. Leave now. Leave me and Master alone.
Biting deep into the rotting flesh, your senses are assailed with a rank odor of meat long past its prime. Your memory wavers and becomes not your own, but the memory of one who led the most solitary of lives. You see myriad wings flapping, your hand scattering birdseed. You hear the screeching of eagles, the tearing of flesh. All of your life is centered on this place, this pedestal of death. All of your life is dedicated to feeding your eagles the meat of your dearly departed people.
Apropos.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
We are an inspiration to our people.
That inspiration, we're an example.
You watch yourself. There's a voice whispering promises to the dead around here. Word is that they'll be walking about with flesh on their bones again if they send you to the Hall of Echoes. You're God-woken, ain't you? You've a certain something about your aura. Don't ask me why. But someone out there's got it in for you and everyone like you.
Inspiration to our people.
That inspiration, we're an example.
Watching the birds pick your body clean is almost soothing. At least you know you're doing some good for a creature, and it means that elf ain't getting his claws on my corpse. Not mine specifically, but he creeps from grave to sepulchre, taking what he wants. Whatever he wants.
A grim expression passes across her face as she looks out over the graveyard.
The dead don't rest easy in this garden. Not by half. He lives in the big house by the gate. I ain't about to wander up and ask for a name, mind you. The less I see of him, the happier I'll rest.
Two dwarven spirits at loggerheads. In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. Your masculine side is a royalist, loyal to the monarch he loves. As the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the Royal Guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting pot of Driftwood and Reaper's Coast. But in Driftwood, you visit the lizard. You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother, and find him fighting for his life against the dwarves who would rob him. Both of you die, but your killers do right by their fellow dwarves, and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity, one convinced that the Queen is a tyrant, the other that your treason was wrong. The sister smiles. She feels vindicated. Her brother still does not agree. The rebellion was a disaster. The rebellion was a The sister has found peace with what was her life, but her brother rages on. The eagle glowers at you with one
You dare!
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point there.
I've spotted something.
Was hat er denn jetzt schon wieder entdeckt und wo?
What's this?
The statue gestures towards the heavens. Your eyes close.
Na, das kennen wir ja. Mach weg.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart. The statue doesn't move, no matter how much force you apply.
Ach so. Vielleicht sollte ich einen Kopf finden, ne?
The plinth of the statue bears a series of deep circular... The statue rotates with little resistance. The statue rotates. You cringe at the sound of stone grating against stone. The plinth of the statue bears... The statue... You cringe. The statue rotates with little resistance.
Du hast ja bestimmt noch andere Kram gefunden hier, oder?
I've spotted...
Brother, help me, please! Isn't it obvious? Some thoughtless fool buried me in this grave like some common human. I can't be at peace in a place like this. I have to be put to rest according to lizard tradition. The eternal fire burns in the lizard quarter of the cemetery. I beg you, cast my remains into the fire. Set my spirit free. I will never know peace otherwise. Isn't helping your kin enough for you? Fine. Do as I wish, and I'll see that you are rewarded.
There must be the remains of that lizard spirit, just as he said. What?
Dude, help! I'm down here! A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you Can you dig me up? Don't worry. There's nothing funny about me.
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck in his cracks and crevices.
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except, you know, the wisdom of the ages.
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Oh, but I don't just go around giving knowledge away like a common medium.
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. A weak soul may not survive the bond, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my rib cage here, right over where my heart would be, if, well, you know.
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your finger away and it remains glued to the bone.
All right, mister. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate knowledge. Pretty great answer, eh? Can you do better than that?
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. You tug and tug, but your finger remains attached to the skeleton's bone. You question your response the moment it leaves your lips. Your entire body shivers anxiously as you wonder, what is this life's true meaning?
You poor, precious, pathetic thing. That's what happens when you gaze into an unseasoned soul. Let's see if you can do better this time. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants, is there such a thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now.
There seems to be no escaping this weird bond, short of breaking off your own finger. You are immobilized by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of nothing, fear of everything. It aches, as if the weight of the world presses against your skull.
Aw, the big lizard's as weak as a kitten. There, it'll be okay. I hate to ask another question, but the bond demands it. Sorry and all that. So tell me, is there a difference between right and wrong? Don't hurt yourself now. I know how trying this must be for you.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side. The truth of your final answer momentarily calms you, but it is not enough to ease the inner pain ripping through your mind, soul, and body. The pressure builds and builds.
Such a pity.
Hä? Das müsste aber eigentlich gar nicht mal so schlecht gewesen sein. auf Rätsel heute.
I'm waiting.
Ach ja, stimmt.
The skeleton tries to brush the...
Thanks.
He pokes a finger.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that. Oh, but I do...
The skeleton...
A soul, but I'm sure. Oh, how...
You reach...
All right, mister.
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body from toe to head, then back again.
Well, but... Let's just move on to the next question. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants, is there such thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. Oh, gods, I can hardly bear to. All right, I need to get a hold of myself.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
Vergessen, letztes Mal habe ich mit dem Untoten gespielt. Gerade gewundert, warum es nicht geklappt hat.
One last query. Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh, I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side.
I can't bear this existential agony. What have you...
Ehrlich. Die Kombinationen, die sind immer so ein bisschen dumm. Naja.
Pure grace in an undeserving world.
The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another, the ancestor tree, trying to take its source. All you feel is the spirit's resistance and its anger directed at the mother tree that has betrayed it. The spirit ignores your presence, busy... The spirit ignores your presence. The spirit ignores your... The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond. But this tree feels tainted. dangerous scion of the elves, the Mother Tree demands your blood. You do not have a choice. She has a plan, and you must serve her with your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you, he understands you, he loves you. He offers you your freedom and asks but one small service in return. Grateful, you accept. In an instant, you are an elf once more, walking in the world. But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often. They cause you pain. At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free. The thought occurs. The sign replaced one bad deal with another.
To trade one's soul for immortality and then lose out on your prize? That is unfortunate, no matter the circumstances.
Spare me this elven strife. I care not.
Desperation leads to stupidity. Among the stupid, anyway.
The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep
Come down, Godwoken! Come, decay!
An undead elf steps from the shadows. He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
Welcome, Godwoken, to your grave. I promise you decay. I decay. But if I serve, I grow again. I shall serve him. You must. He is my friend. He is your king. He wants your decay. Rise, my rotten army. Rise!
The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground.
Jetzt ist... Achso. So, wie machen wir das am besten? Wie viel Schaden habe ich gerade bekommen?
won't find. Back, Quackus! Our shield has gone mad!
So, was haben wir denn Schönes gefunden? Ein Rasiermesser. Sieht nice aus. Ich würde sagen, wir tauschen das gegen edler Dolch. Ja. Ja. Das war zu erwarten, aber jetzt nicht so schlimm. So, was war auch noch Schönes gekriegt? Das war auch noch gekriegt. Jo. Schon schicker Hund, ne? Ja. Moment, jetzt beherrscht sie den Kommentieren, ne? Vielleicht bringe ich ja auch irgendwann mal die Kommentier bei jetzt gerade.
The spirit looks forlorn, exhausted, spent. Nothing remains of the life you led. The long years after death, resisting the tree as it tried to take your source, have left you with little more than an overwhelming sense of betrayal. Relief flows through you. The spirit slips away. A wave of relief washes off the spirit, relief tempered with disgust. You are an elven spirit. Who you were in life is now forgotten. You have spent the years resisting the pull of the ancestor tree. It would steal your source. This source you would gladly give to the mother tree. But not this traitor. This scion has betrayed the elves. This scion has taken a darker path. This scion wants your source for someone or something else. This, you think, is what happens when the scions don't get proper training. Relief flows through you as you realize that you may leave. Your thoughts flash to the mother tree by the water on an island with no name. The spirit slips away. The spirit looks angry. You have been a spirit for a very long time indeed. This afterlife has been spent resisting the pull of the ancestor tree that wants your source. You've always hated the scion of the tree for seeking your destruction. Once he served the hated mother tree. You hate her too, but now the scion has taken a darker path. but he still wants your source. Relief flows through you as realization grows. You may leave. The spirit slips away.
It's hard not to feel some pride in reptilian engineering. I watched an elf spend hours trying to force his way into a lizard's chest. Eventually, he threw it into the flames, but still it sits there, indestructible. He did not leave empty-handed, unfortunately. I pity the poor salamander that he dragged back to his ghastly home.
You have done me a great service, friend. Now, the Hall of Echoes beckons.
The chest before you is covered in old ancient empire pictograms. You consider trying to find some lockpicks in your bag, but looking at the chest, you don't see any keyhole. You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. It hisses and clicks at you in the old tongue, your people's ancient language.
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames.
With a quiet click, the lid of the chest swings open.
So, was auch noch Schild bekommen. Das auch noch bekommen. So, sonst noch was hier? Da könnten wir noch hin. Dann müssten wir hier erstmal wahrscheinlich alles runter. Dann können wir uns hier in die Richtung verziehen. Oder hier.
The spirit shimmers faintly, reaching for you with vaporous arms, its voice as weak as the breeze.
Red Prince, art thou truly he? Of prophecy foretold, augured in ancient melody. Rav Mudam, Anan Aket, Vetu Duran. Aye, the dreamer passeth by, chased by shadow. With the dreamer thou must speak of what thou art and what thou shalt be.
To the dreamer I will take thee, for I too dream. In death I dream, Red Prince. Let me guide thee.
The spirit comes closer and bids you look into its weary, wearying eyes. A sudden fatigue overwhelms you, and you fall asleep. Once more you're in the great dark, but you deftly follow your guide in utter silence. The unseen tendrils lash, but do not find you. Soon you spy it, the solitary red eye, the haven in the horror. That is where you are headed. You arrive at the desert camp, dormant beneath an eternal sunset. Brahmos the Wanderer awaits.
Your Highness, you have found me. The House of Shadows stirs, sire. Assassins had me cornered, and so I took the last desperate action left open to me. I fled bodily into the dream realm. This is my world now. To Rivellon, I can never return. Not that it matters. It is but a small sacrifice to make in return for the fulfilling of the prophecy that is the Red Prince. It is time we talk about the prophecy, sire. First, let me ask you a question, Your Majesty. A query that involves the very fundamentals of who we are. Who are we? Very funny, sire. But in this particular case, there is a... Here is the truth, Red Prince. We were dragons once. All of us. All lizards are descendants of dragons. Great red dragons. You anticipate me most accurately, Your Highness. The prophecy, the secret that the House of Dreams has safeguarded for countless millennia, says that when the Red Prince and the Red Princess unite, their children will be dragons, and through their union all lizards will be dragons again. Throughout history, the House of Shadows has spilled the blood of thousands of dreamers to prevent your birth and your union. But we are on the cusp of denying them their long-sought victory. You must go to her, Red Prince. She is waiting for you. Had you expected anything else, Red Prince? All your life, you've awaited something greater even than yourself. With her, you will have it. She's close to you, along Reaper's coast. There's a camp to the north. It's where I was headed before the House of Shadows caught up with me. She knows the House of Dreams is the ally of dragons. She's aware we've been trying to unite you against all the odds. So go to her, for she awaits you with ravenous patience. No one knows the motives of our enemy, why they seek to keep us shackled to the ground when we could soar and scorch. They look like lizards, but they think like demons. Though I've been battling them tooth and nail all my life, I cannot say who their leader is, if there even is such a creature, and of what race it is. But in the end, that is of no consequence. Unite with the Red Princess, and your children will breathe the fires of a second sun that will banish all shadow forever. You ask me, sire, about a time when the Seven still strode this world, when the finger of a god would trace lazily along the land and leave in its wake a river. Who can tell what happened when the stars above this paradise darkened in the void and froze even the fire of dragons? All I know is that ever since the first lizards awoke, cold upon rock and sand, some of them dreamt, and in dreams remembered what they were, and could be again. Her name is Sadha, princess of the House of Law. Just like you, she was raised within walls, protected against the world. But unlike you, born within the boastful House of War, her existence was kept a secret. It was I who pushed for secrecy, for as I held you both in my arms mere days after your birth, I knew the moment had come. As I knew the shadows would close in. You've known each other all your lives through dreams. I watched. You've longed for one another in loneliness. I saw. Two flames you were, with a long black shadow cast in between. But soon, no more in between at all. As you wish, my prince.
A nonchalant snap of the fingers, and just like that, you're back in the land of the living.
Majesty, thou returnest from the nighttime realm, laden with the promise of prophecy. I, lost soul, know my duty is at an end. Fare thee well, All-Father. Blessed be he. Rav Mudon, Charal Evdekius Racht, Vetu Daran.
Nice. Ach, verdammt. So, ich werde jetzt speichern. Und eine kleine Pipi- und Rauchpause machen. Ich bin aber gleich wieder da, ja? Ja, moin Leute. Ich würde mal behaupten, die Pause wird etwas länger sein. Ich bin gleich wieder online, ne? Bis später.